is this?
I can't hear
Do you
it.
hear it?
No.
No. Can you hear that?
No, I can't hear it.
Can't hear it.
No.
Something's going on there, but I don't know what's going on. I'll get away with that. Right, let me go up and press the button upstairs.
Go. Oh, blimey, we're live. And we've come straight up. Right, that hasn't happened in a long time. How we doing, guys? Hope we're all well. Hi, Maz. How you doing? Miss you guys. Haven't seen you in ages. Not long now. Are you going to Charlton House, Maz? Is it Charlton House the next one? It is Charlton House the next one. Yeah, hopefully. Looking forward to it. I can't remember the last one. Where was we last time? I can't remember where we was. What's the last one we done? Oh, it was the Village Hall, wasn't it? Not 100% yet. Oh, it's a shame. You didn't make the Village Hall either, did you? No, I haven't seen you in ages, Maz. Spend all your time in Turkey, that's the trouble. I'm jealous. Evening, Mickey. Hope we're doing well. I hope your weather's a bit better than over here, Mike. Oh.
Right. Are you ready?
I'm good to go, my man.
Let's do this, Domino. Let's do this. Evening, everybody in the chat. Evening.
It's now time for you to sit back, exhale, and relax. Let your mind to the deepest, darkest parts of your brain. Let Ross take you on a journey through the unexplained.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Journey Through the Unexplained. It's the 5th of September, 2024. And welcome aboard. Welcome aboard our starship. Welcome aboard our journey. I am one host of your cabin crew tonight. And where would I be without my other wonderful member of cabin crew, Mr. Paranormal Paul?
Hello, good evening. How are we doing?
I am very well, thank you. I just want to say, before we crack onto the show, how good it was to hear Mr. Philip Solomon's voice back on Pulse Talk Radio, and his voice and his wonderful energy that he brings. It's lovely to have you back on the airwaves, Mr. Philip Solomon. I'm glad you're feeling better to join us. It's, you know, what better can we ask for to be following on after the lovely Philip Solomon show?
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. As you can see, we've got loads of people in the chat. Evening, everybody. Got Marianne in the chat. We've got Mickey in the chat. We've got Heidi in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to the chatty chat. How are we? Paul, how are we?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. I'm good. I'm not really got much to moan about, so that's a positive, I suppose.
Well, you've had your moans, haven't you? You've had your moans over the last couple. You know what? I'm going to have my bloody moans this week.
Oh, right. There we go.
All
We
right.
passed the buck this week.
Because last weekend, was probably the most horrendous weekend I've ever been witnessed to in my life. And to be fair, are any of us families still standing? I haven't got a clue. Really haven't. I'll start off from the beginning, shall I? I'm going to get the
Please
moans
do.
out of the way. I'm going to get the groans out of the way, okay? Because if you can tell me this is a normal weekend for anybody, then you know what? I'll take everything back and I will shake their hand, okay? So, starts off with Saturday morning, very early in the morning. I get a text message from Simon to say, have you changed any passwords on the Microsoft account? I said, no. He said, I can't get into any of the accounting details or any of our things that we need to make the shop run. I said, okay, I'm on my way. Don't panic just yet. Let's just say Microsoft decided to hide all our and suspend all our accounts. So it took me over 5 hours to get all the paperwork back on. And as the new Microsoft, you can't ring anybody. It's a new AI generated sort of database or whatever you want to call it that helps you and guides you, then puts you through to a technician that overtakes your computer and finds this, finds that, unloads this and all that. So 5 hours, that took. Now, in the evening of Friday night, my mum says to me that she doesn't think the dog's very well. Okay, doesn't think the dog's very well. And I looked at her and Nan looked at her and we said, you know, she looks fine to us. She looks fine to us, you know, see what it's like. But mum decided that she wasn't going to listen to me and Nan. So she booked the dog in for a vet's, a vet's visit, an appointment at 12:30 on Saturday. And poor little Daisy got taken into emergency surgery there and then. Okay, there and then. She had pyometra. She's had to have major surgery. She's had virtually all her innards taken out. And if it wasn't for mum, the vet stated that we had probably 24 to 48 hours or she was lost for good. So big well done to my mother for undermining me, which I don't mind every once in a while. I like to be right every now and then. So come 6 o'clock at night, we hadn't heard anything. And then the vet rang to say she hasn't gone down to surgery just yet. We're just trying to get antibiotics into her because the blood cells and all that weren't quite right for surgery. They're estimating surgery around 12 o'clock at night. So I said, that's fine, you know, as long as she's okay. And yet the vet said she's getting loads of cuddles. She's being looked after. She's a fan favourite within the vet at the moment. So that's fine. And the vet said, do you want a phone call to say when she's out of surgery? Mum says yes. This could be any time. So mum said yes, whatever. So come 2:30 in the morning, my phone goes. Mum's saying, you better get up here. At this point, my heart's in my stomach, isn't it? You know, you're thinking the worst case scenario's gone on. I walk indoors. We've been broken into.
Oh my God.
All the drawers were open. The door was prized open. Everything, all the drawers and everything looking for car keys. Now, they never made it. They made it to one place in the kitchen, one drawer in the kitchen, but I think they've gone spooked by the phone call from the vet and mum's got up to answer it, banged around, they've bolted.
Bloody hell.
So
what's the chances?
I have to, thank the good Lord. They never took anything. Nothing was taken. I can only say thanks for that. And thanks to little Daisy who got through it. And thanks, for the vet. The vet apologized to mum for ringing her so early in the morning. But we was like, you know what? Don't say sorry because we think you stopped something quite big.
Yeah.
So today I've spent all day getting the security cams up. And then, obviously, anyone who knows the situation around Simon, I thought with all this crap gone on, he gets a wonderful phone call. regarding his partner about a transplant, only for that to be squashed at 12 o'clock at night. So everything that weekend that's just gone can absolutely 0121 do one. You know, it can absolutely stay in the past because it was a weekend, and you know everything's okay. The door's been fixed, the door locks, the security alarm's been put on. We're now looking into CCTV for the house as well, because you know it's just how you feel after it, isn't it? At the end of the day,
yeah, it's awful, mate.
Little Daisy's on the mend, so still a little bit of a road to go, and things like that. But it's all I can say is that she's been an absolute pain in the arse today, because she has now started to do zoomies again. This is 4 days after surgery, which we're told that she shouldn't be doing any strenuous exercise. So because I had the security man, she got locked in her cage this morning, and it's all I heard was all those, ooh, ooh, ooh. And it's like, look, you can hear me and you can see me. Shush, just for a minute. If you weren't so lively, you'd be out your cage. I can't let you run around, but they don't understand, do they?
No. Listen.
She's on the mend, still a little bit docile here and there, you know, still worrying times because she's had real major surgery done. I think in terms of human, it's a full hysterectomy, I think.
I think
that's what it was. So I say big thank you to my mum. I've got to say that, for not paying any attention to her son and her mother, because throughout that we would have lost her. So well done to them. And to the burglars who walked away with fuck all, absolutely well done to you, because, you know, sorry I swore, but as I say, people are saying, you know, blimey, you think it's way too polite, but that's what I thought. But they got away with nothing. So, all good. So, yes, last week has been a strenuous one, but let's hope this week it'll be all nice, hunky-dory, and plateaued.
Yeah, fingers crossed for you there, mate. I must admit, I was so busy at the weekend, I didn't catch up with any of the chats, really. I didn't even realise after that went on. Sorry, mate.
I didn't say no one knows. You know, it's not down for other people to sort of, you know, it was just one of the things that you have to sort of dust yourself down. You have to sort of grin and bear it, don't you? And at the end of the day, nothing was taken from my home, but I still have to be aware. And the main priority is a little life within the dog. And that was my priority. But it was so strange, Paul, because I saw all the cupboard doors open and I just walked down and closing them before me, you know. And I think, you absolute tit, Russ. You're a tit, because they could have fingerprints on them. So, you know, we had the police around on, you know, fair play to the police. They acted quick. They were around on Sunday around about 11:30, I think it was, dusting for prints, and, you know, and they've been in regular contact with me, you know.
Wow.
So I can't knock the Essex Constabulary in the Thurrock area. I really can't, because they've acted. They've made you feel. The lady come in and she said, "Look, do this, do that. You know your mistakes. You know." So that's all. So I can't knock it. It's all I can just knock is the headaches and, you know, not sleeping for 3 nights after.
Yeah, I'll bet.
But you know what? It's done. It's happened. We dust ourselves down and we have to go again, don't we? It's all we can do. You know, I have to thank the powers to be, as Mikey and Heidi are in the chat would say, they're God. I would say the Almighty Spirit and the people I pray to, that nothing was taken, and the dog will hopefully make a full recovery on it. So
yeah, fingers crossed, mate.
So that's my rant. I've had a rant.
And that's a well entitled rant, mate. By the sound of it,
right. We're out the way of rantingness now. So we're done. Whatever. Okay. Well, where is that? Is that coming from there? That's weird. just seen a light come up on there, and it's telling me the camera's on, but it's on the different screen. Very weird. Thank you for everyone in the chat. Kim has put that's way too polite. That's why I did say the F word. So, you know, I do apologise. Anyone listening over on Pulse Talk Radio, Facebook or YouTube, I do apologise. Shouldn't swear, but I did for that moment in time. So, but we have got a show. We are going to bring in, we're going to lighten the mood. We are going to lighten the mood. I can't remember last week though, Paul, if we did say we was going to talk about anything. I had this, I think we was, because I've just opened my book, right? But I don't think we did anything on it. So we was going to talk about the 24 nations in Antarctica.
Yeah, that's died on its arse, isn't it? I know nothing.
You know, so but is what we will talk about today, and I don't know if I've still got the video, is the strange sounds that are coming from space. For everybody that's, you know, may not or may know, but there is 2 stranded astronauts. You say stranded, it's, you know, loosely stranded. They're aboard the space station, just can't get home, but they're all right. You know, enough food for them. They've just got to stay there to February, as far as I'm aware at the moment. That's the ideal. Yeah. Is it something space?
How many months have they already been up there? I think they've been up there about 7-8 months already, haven't they? Something like that.
I think so. There's the craft coming back, they can't use because it's faulty, or they're not 100% sure it'll make the journey back, or something like that. Was it? It's. I know there was a bit of. I know NASA and that were talking and weighing up their options and everything, but they've taken, which I think is the actual right decision. If there is any doubt in human life, that even if it's 1%, that you don't take a risk of bringing them back in that craft.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I think that you know is a wise decision, but I do believe it is SpaceX is bringing them. Yeah, Joe's just put it in there. Look, SpaceX is bringing them home. But that comes in February. But there is now, over the last couple of weeks, there's been, you know, radio transmissions back to mission control, ground control, whatever you want, from the space center, to saying they're experiencing weird sounds. Can I play that though? Did you send me that, or did I send that to you, or did I?
I think both. I think I sent you one and you sent it back, or a similar one back.
If I can find something and see if I can, you know what? I don't actually know.
Do you know what frustrates me with this whole thing? You'd think with the money that NASA has on a daily basis, you would have a backup in case such a scenario presents itself, rather than. I mean, I know they're not cheap, these spacecraft, but that's a big risk to take, isn't it?
Sorry, I'm trying to look. Then I totally didn't.
No, you're good.
What did you actually say there, Paul? Because I'm trying to link my phone up.
It amazes me that NASA, with the money that they take on a daily basis, that they haven't got a backup when a scenario like this presents itself. You know.
No, you're absolutely right on that. Yeah. You would think that there's got to be a, what would you call it, a plan B?
Yeah.
I'm going to try and connect my phone.
Have you found it?
I think I found one. I do think I found one. but I don't quite know how this is going to work. So just bear with me a minute, and let's see if this. No, that's a different reason. That's a different one. Why ain't it working?
Hey, it's Glamham. Have you been following the two astronauts who've been stuck in space for months now, Sunny and Butch? Well, as if they didn't have enough to worry about, now they're hearing strange noises, and they literally called Houston kind of to say, we have a problem. Let's hear it.
Houston's with you, Butch. Go ahead. There's a strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you could connect into the Starliner and let me Michael is weird. I don't know what's making it. All right, Butch, that one came through. It was kind of like a pulsing noise, almost like a sonar ping. All right, over to you. We'll figure it out. Yep, good.
Well, because to me this sounds like a submarine, I couldn't help but think of last year's Titan sub. And you remember how reports came in from the Canadian Air Force of a knocking sound? We all had the hope that that was from the sub. Here's what that sounded like. I won't lie, I have a not good feeling in the pit of my stomach about this one on the Starliner, given how many problems Boeing has had and that the astronauts are literally stuck in space. Something obviously isn't going well. They had helium leaks. My thoughts on it, some actual mechanical hardware, like that is literally tapping on metal in the ship, or frequency interference. But the strange thing with that is these astronauts should know what that is. I mean, they're up there in space by themselves. What could be interfering with them? Starlink? Other spacecraft? Let me know what you think. See you in the comments. Take care.
You're going to get a bit of feedback. I do apologise because I've got to take my microphone down just a little bit. I think that explained it quite well, to be fair. I hope did it come across? Did you hear the pinging and the noises what you're hearing? And I think
it was a bit crackly, but slightly heard it, yeah.
Joe says he didn't think sound could travel in a vacuum. I say I'm not too sure. I'm not.
Well, this was coming from the speakers in. It wasn't the actual sonar sound was coming from the speakers in the space station or Starlink, whatever they were in.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I have to sort of slightly disagree with the video a little bit. Just to let you know, that was a video by Glenn Ham. Okay, a TikTok video. So we'll credit that to Glenn Ham for any copyright issues. That was a Glenn Ham video. And I just, do I see any resemblance to the knock-in coming from the submarine? I think she's leading the conversation there a little bit. I don't mean it in a bad way, because I think her mind is going to, we heard the knocking from the submarine, and the submarine went bang. And then we're going to hear the knocking from the space center, and it's going to go bang. That's how I portrayed that video.
I thought she sort of went towards the submarine side of things because of this. It sounded like a sonar, like the sound you get in a submarine. When you watch all the films and you get the old radar going around, you go, that kind of sound.
She said she had a bad feeling about this. And that's where I sort of went, where my feeling went was along the lines of, I think she's going down the road of, we heard the knocking in the submarine, then it went bang. Now we're hearing this same sort of radar ping, and that's going to not end well for them. That's how I portrayed the video.
Yeah.
I might be wrong. I don't know. But I think there's a lot to talk about, to be fair, in that video. let's start off with the obvious. Okay, is it another craft that is sending out radar signal to the space center up in wherever it is, up in lower orbit, outer orbit, whatever it is? Now, this goes along with the film Full Moon or Moonfall, because that's what happened in there. They heard a signal coming at the beginning, didn't they?
Yes.
And now everybody who's I can't. I've got to describe that. I've got to describe that for the people who listen on Pulse Talk, because they won't see your face then, because that was just a moment of, you know, what I just said was like, yes, I know, I understand. And it was like, okay, I understand that comment, but I wasn't expecting that comment moment.
Yeah. It's like I said, when you think of it, a lot of them, what's the first thing they pick up on? That signal. Like I say, Independence Day, Moonfall, a lot of these sort of kind of, even Alien, they get a signal from somewhere. So they go and investigate. But
So
I didn't even see. This is why it works. Well, you've got to have two minds rather than just the one thinking about it.
But there's lots. I think there is a hell of a lot that this is opening up. I do feel this is a very important entry level piece of evidence. I do. Something just come up on my screen then. Don't quite know what it was, but hey ho, that's on. Something strange is happening again with my screen, Paul.
Is it?
Yeah. But this is do I think this is an alien craft, or they're picking up a radar, a sonar signal from a different craft of extraterrestrials? What that would be? Very potentially, very potentially, that could be a signal of a craft in the distance that the space center is picking up on, because I'm assuming it's got some form of, navigational sonar or radar, or
it's got to have, isn't it, to pick up anything coming towards them, whether it be a comet, asteroid, or bit of space debris, or one of the thousands of satellites that are flying around. There's, I'm assuming they all give off some kind of beacon when they're.
Yeah, it would pick up something. Can I just ask anyone in the chat what you think that could be? Do you think it is another aircraft? Do you think it's another aircraft? Do you think it's a space, a UFO? Let's not call it a spaceship. That's very, old time, isn't it? But is it potentially a UFO, a UAP that is being picked up on in the orbit, and these people are the first people that may be witnessing it?
Well, the thing that she said in the video as well, which I found was interesting, is they were trying to palm it off as could be picking up on just a radio signal from Earth type thing. But as she said, this is the International Space Station. They would know what that sounds like. It wouldn't be something new. If at all it does pick up on signals from Earth, this wouldn't have been the first time, surely, and they would know what it is.
And you could hear it. It sounded like it freaked them out.
Yeah, definitely.
Sounded like it was freaking them out a little bit.
Well, first of all, they were probably wanted confirmation that ground control could hear it. You think if you've been up in space that amount of time, you start getting that, what is it, like that space dementia type thing, isn't it? Your mind starts going a bit doolally on you. You would go, stir crazy. Yeah.
Didn't they say something though, like the space station was 4 times the size, for the same size of 4 NFL football pitches? It's a big
I
old
didn't know
unit.
that.
It's
I didn't realise it was as big as that.
I'm sure. I've seen so many videos on it. Did I actually do it? Did I actually do it? And you know when you can star it, can't you? You can star it, can't you? Let me turn it down. Hold on. You can go to your profile, can't you? Then go away for a minute.
Right, yeah, I've just quickly Googled it. The International Space Station, that is where they are, isn't it? International Space Station is about the size of an American football field, including the end zones, and has a volume of 5-bedroom house.
So it's quite big. I know you've been stuck there for...
Well, the size of the football pitch alone, that's big enough, isn't it?
So it's a bit of a unit. It's a bit of a unit. It's quite big.
Yeah.
It's quite big. So that in itself is, but you heard it in their voice. I don't think whatever it was obviously freaks them out. If that's real footage, which I have got no, it was quite a, a popular, quite a good video. It was quite popular. So there's obviously a link to this being legitimate, now is why. That's my answer is why.
And the
why
other,
is this
the other thing you've got to think of exactly is that why is because that's not the only video I've seen this on. I've seen quite a few mentioning this. So why would NASA decide to? I mean, they're obviously not worried about it. Otherwise, they wouldn't release it. But see, again, my mind always goes. We were talking about last week with the Antarctic, 24 nations going to the Antarctic. It's all gearing up. In my eyes, it's all gearing up for that Project Bluebeam,
Well,
they're going to come up with a big mothership going, coming around the back of the moon.
Well, I think I'm just trying to. I'm going to play another video. Okay, I'm going to try and do another video. I'm not 100% sure if this is the video that I want, though. So just bear with me.
So 24 hours ago, the two astronauts who are stuck in space and have been for the last nearly 3 months now, heard strange noises coming from the Boeing Starliner. So I'm going to play the noise for you now. But also, Dr. Michael Saller says it's the same noise from the Atlantic Arc, which these people keep hearing all the time, and apparently it's aliens, the Intergalactic Federation, and this is the noise that they are hearing. Apparently this is all part of the slow disclosure plan. It's to do with these astronauts being stuck up there. Something's going to happen. Maybe they're going to see something, and this is going to be a common occurrence where things are going to happen. And Elon Musk to bring them back on the Starlink. Something's building here. So let's take a look.
Houston on 2, you've got a question about Starliner.
Houston's with you, Butch. Go ahead.
There's a strange noise coming through the speaker, and I didn't know if you could connect into the Starliner and let me Michael let you hear. I don't know what's making it, but I don't know if it's something that maybe is connected between here and there, making that happen. But anyway, can you do that?
We can configure that, Butch. Give us a minute, and I'll call you back when it's ready.
Okay.
Station Houston on 2, we're configured for audio via hardline and CST. If you want to give us a call.
Okay, Starliner.
5x5, how many?
Okay, I'm going to put the mic on the
Copy.
Hear that?
Negative, Butch. We did not hear anything. All right, Butch, that one came through. It was kind of like a pulsing noise, almost like a sonar ping.
Yeah, I'll do it one more time, and I'll let y'all scratch your heads and see if you can figure out what's going on. Here we go. All right, over to you. Tell us you figure it out.
Yep, good recording. Thanks, Butch. We will pass it on to the team and let you know what we find. And Butch, just to make sure I'm on the same page, this is emanating from the speaker in Starliner. You don't notice anything else, any other noises, any other weird configs in there? Okay, thank you.
So we've heard it again, but this, I only played this video for the sheer fact is he uses a terminology that I do actually believe that is actually happening. Joe has put conspiracy theories everywhere, sounds like sonar. Absolutely, Joe. I'm with you. 100% sounds like sonar. But I'll go into that in a minute because I think there is something that we could delve into that a little bit as well. But he puts quite clearly the slow disclosure. His words, slow disclosure. Now, you think whatever happens every now and again, you think we go back over the thing we have, you know, we've last couple of weeks, we've found lights on a planet far away that looks like cities. You know, okay, fair enough. But you've just told us NASA have released pictures of a planet that has got cities with lights on. And no one's battering an eyelid. Now we're getting radio signals or sonar pings or whatever you want to call them in space. So I do believe this is NASA, the governments and all that, releasing the information that they want us to hear. How many times, you know, we see it, you know, we have, you know, Dr. Greer, all this. Yeah, I get Dr. Greer, but I also think he's in tow with it now. Because
he's got to be quiet though, isn't he?
Yeah, because he's now allowing, he's done his bit. He's done his bit. He's done his bit to give the people like me, people maybe like you, the people who believe in ufology, you know, okay, you know, we believe you. We believe you. It's there. Now, we see something like, you know, lights on cities on a different planet. We hear this strange noise coming in space. You think, well, okay, we know it's out there. You know, it's not necessarily for us. This is for the non-believers. You know, that will be on so many people's FYP or whatever you want to call it that don't believe it, then say, oh, look at that. They found noises in space. How good's that? Might do a little bit of digging. Joe has put, it's a synchronized pulse to facilitate the simultaneous attack on us as seen in Independence Day. The clock is ticking. You know, Joe, it is like that, isn't it? It is like that. But what is the attack? Is for me, what is the attack? Is it just disclosure? Is that the attack? You know, is the word attack just used as a, what do you call, just a, you know, a thing for Project Bluebeam?
Yeah.
Everything is fitting to Project Bluebeam. This is clockwork to Project Bluebeam. Absolutely clockwork to the governments, to everything towing the line. Now we're getting little droplets of information regarding ufology, little droplets of, you know, sounds coming from space, little droplets to say, well, there could be life out there because we've got some pictures from a new planet that we found with city lights on it. You know, we've got, you know,
well, it started, didn't it, when they released the James Webb, and they're saying, oh, okay, we're going to have to rewrite all astronomy books. You know, every astronomy professor has been wrong because we now know the universe is like billions of years older than what they originally thought. So
it still won't change that. You still won't change the scientists in them, people. They can't look out.
To me, that seemed to be the start of it. because ever since then, that was about 2 years ago now, wasn't it? The James Webb went up. Everything's been slowly being released, like you say, little droplet at a time.
You know, and you say, I'm far from, you know, I just think there is going to be a breakthrough moment. As you know, there's a lot of people, but you know, what's Joe put? I don't really think we need disclosures. People are awake and aware, and we are not alone. There's too much evidence now, like COVID. The genie is out of the bottle. Disclosure is not needed. No, I don't agree.
Joe, for us,
yeah, I think for us, I think you're close. You know, there's still a lot of people out there that, you know, are very close-minded to the whole UFO thing and we are not alone and all that. I do believe that, you know, slightly that there's more people awake to it, but I still think I still think we're the minority rather than the majority of it.
Oh, 100%.
I'd still 100%. Like,
and if this is to do with Project Bluebeam, you know, and something does happen, the people that are sort of just realising now, they'll probably believe that, because all the signs are leading towards, you know, we're not alone. So if something does happen, they're going to hook, line and sinker. They're going to be drawn straight in. Whereas I've said it before and I'll say it again, if we see alien craft coming in, the first thing I'm going to say is, that's us. I do not believe it. Like I said,
yeah,
you know, they'd have to take me up and probe me before I believe it. And even then, the government listen to me on my devices. So they'll probably be saying, we've got to take this fella, get him up there and probe him, otherwise he ain't going to believe us. So that's the way my head goes. I don't know.
Joe doesn't believe in a slow release. More evidence is shown on social media than what the mainstream. Yeah, but that's it. People don't believe social media.
No,
social media is monitored. So, you know, there's nothing out there that isn't monitored against social media.
It's the how good AI is getting now.
Yes.
You know, certain things I'm seeing, not all the time, but a lot of the time, I can just tell that that's not the genuine person that I'm used to watching. It's just got that tweak to it, you know, and you think that's AI. I know that's AI, but it looks very real, very real.
But with this comment here, more evidence show there's. I think the mainstream media is a dying trait, a dying issue. And I think the social media side of things is now being taken over by mainstream media, and that's their way of getting their information over. And that's how maybe not a slow release, but the evidence that is wanting to drop. And it's always about dropping that information and drip feeding it till they hit us. You know, I bet if we actually did delving into it, and probably up until a year in advance of COVID, we was probably being told what was going to happen somewhere along the line. It weren't just I bet it was always there, but we just didn't pay attention to it. You know.
Yeah, well, they had the practice run, didn't they? About 2 months before it all come out. Event 201, wasn't it? You know, it was literally sort of COVID in the COVID's playbook before it even started.
I agree with Sheep listening to the mainstream, but not the little guys on YouTube. Yeah, but it's only anecdotal evidence, isn't it? You know, it's only what people's opinion is on these channels. You know, it's what fits within your psyche and your narrative, so to speak, if you agree with it or not. You know,
let's be honest, the algorithms are so good now that when you start watching a full video on something that interests you, you'll automatically bounce onto a similar video. So
read you like a book.
Yeah.
Social media read you like a book. It will show you what you want to see. There is no jiggling about it. Joe has asked, can Paul explain Project Bluebeam again?
Yes, I couldn't tell. Do you know what? I couldn't tell you where it's. I think it was in the 50s or even earlier than that. I think.
I'm sure it's Eisenhower. I'm sure
yeah.
Eisenhower or someone like that.
So it's basically originally I think they were gonna. It was about the second coming. They were going to basically falsify, with the technologies that they had back then from reverse engineering UFOs or whatever. It was the second coming of Christ, basically, because it's not just like a projection or hologram or something that everyone can see. It also sounds, and it'll be worldwide, but it will be done in a way that everyone can understand it. But I think over the years, with sort of the loss of, not loss of religion, but the decline in religion and the amount of different religions there are, I think they were pushing it. The better way forward for it to go was an invasion, a UFO invasion. And I think this sort of really took off that idea after the Roswell, New Mexico incident, because after that, UFO sightings just went through the roof. So I think that sort of turned their hand into, well, hang on a minute, this would be the better way to go, because I think more people were going to believe that rather than, and basically the long and short of it is something to unify the world governments and the world in their eyes, one world government, one world bank, one world army. That is pretty much the end goal, stop fighting against us because we're here to protect you. You need us because we, that sort of thing. A government ploy, basically, Joe.
Yeah, I think, for your one world government. But, we all have to unify against...
World Economic Forum's full swing end game, I think.
Yeah, it's like going along the line, we're going to be fighting a force where everyone's got to fight together, the likes of us, UK, USA, China, Korea's, Russia have all got to fight one to bring everyone on a one line. But yeah,
make no mistake, it's not just going to be seeing and hearing something in the sky, with the technology, like we said before. What was it? The Spider-Man movie, wasn't it, with the drones, where they can project a hologram and, they're actually fighting. I mean, people, you ain't going to get that kind of cooperation from the world unless there's devastation.
Yeah,
just pretty much already proved they can do it weather-wise. Direct energy weapons. This, you could make it look like they're coming down like Independence Day. Shooting up the place, killing. I'm talking millions of people. So that's a scary thought, I know, but it's certainly within their capabilities.
But once again, we don't know, but we've seen videos on YouTube and TikTok and Facebook regarding the blue laser, the blue, the red, the laser that's taken out certain, Hawaii, and was it Hawaii? Certain parts of Hawaii was taken out by this laser. This blue Chile. I think there were, some South American. I think there was one in, was it Australia as well? I know there was one this side of us, not. So there's videos of that, and it, once again, it was in our faces because it never touched blue objects.
Yeah, that's right.
It couldn't burn through blue objects.
Well, they were saying it was wildfires, wasn't it? But all the trees and foliage around the houses were fine. They still had the green leaves on them, but all the houses in between were burnt to a crisp. Nothing left of them. But
there was videos, wasn't there? There was videos of, once again, we can only follow we can't back these up because we never witnessed them. We're looking at anecdotal evidence again. But at the time, it was a massive thing because the video of the bloke walking through the devastation in Hawaii, and he was going, look, another blue thing untouched. There was a car. There was a row of cars, and the one in the middle of it was blue, and it was hardly touched. There weren't a burn mark on it.
Nah, parasols. wasn't it?
Yeah.
Next to the
Anything,
house.
yeah, anything that was blue was untouched, and there was people filming it with, like they said, lightning strikes, wasn't it? High intense lightning strikes. And there was people going, "Well, this ain't a lightning strike; it's moving," and it was wiggling down the pathway, just blowing everything up. So they've tested it, you know, for Project Bluebeam. They're testing it, as you say, mass devastation to get people to look up. You know, it's a height. This at the moment, ufology, the thing is the heightest thing it's ever been. It's the height. It's the highest. You know, as Joe said. You know, Joe did put. You know, there is so. I don't think we need disclosure because a lot of people are aware of it. Yeah, that's what they want. They want us to start looking up in that sky to prepare us for what is coming. Whatever that is, it may not be Project Bluebeam. It may be a second coming, or it may be just to tell us that we've had extraterrestrials on this planet for many, 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 many years, potentially. And I think Joe, I think was taking bringing us together. That coming when Joe said bringing us together, he thought that was COVID. Yeah, a unified fight against adversity, and that's my phone's going again, and it's nowhere near the screen. How weird is that again? How weird is that? So, yeah, you know, I'm a big believer in Project Bluebeam. I have, you know, looking at the, you know, the research on it, and you know, and it's gone so quiet again. You know, it's been released. It was quite big, released, then nothing. You know, that's so stereotypical of how the, you know, all these big wigs work, and you know, there's nothing. You know, there's nothing out there that they don't want us to see. There is nothing out there that you've got on video that they don't want you to see. If they don't want you to see it, they ain't gonna let you see it. If they don't want you to talk, they'll kill you. So all these people within the ufology side of things that are quite big and have got a massive following, you know, we talk about Bob Lazar, we talk about you know, what's his name, Joe Rogan, we talk about Dr. Greer. They're all in on it. They're all in on it because if you know they give too much information that could, but they want them to say that. They need them to say that. And if they didn't, they would have been gone. Where's that? My phone is absolutely nowhere near. I feel like putting it on flight mode.
Are you getting a like a sonar pulse happening, Russ? Are you?
I don't know if anyone else can hear it. Does anyone? No. Did anyone hear it? It's, you know, like the old school text message next to the speaker again.
Yeah.
That's what it sounded like. You know, so. But
so it sounds like Independence Day is then the signal they're receiving.
But once again, Independence Day, which Joe alluded to at the, you know, in a couple of comments ago, what happened there? All broke through the skies. We was all told, you know, throughout the world, send Morse code. We know how to bring them down. What's that do? Unify the whole world or the whole globe?
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's exactly that's Project Bluebeam in all of it, isn't it? You know, it's the playbook.
Yeah, Nat could hear the interference. Nat could hear the interference on there as well. But why now? Why now? My phone has been by my. Literally, I think it's still there. It's still there. And my phone's on flight mode.
I can't hear nothing.
You can slightly hear it, guys. You can slightly hear it. Well, I know it's not my phone then. It's still there. So that can go back onto flight mode, off of flight mode. So that's where I sit with it. That's where I sit with, you know, this sonar thing, this sonar pulse in the sky. I think that it all goes along the lines of okay, look, I get what Joe's saying about a slow disclosure, slow release. I just think they're preparing the people who are not prepared for it. That's the idea of this. You know, there's people out here that, as you said, Paul, if it happened tomorrow, you'd question it straight away. we'd be on the conspiracy side of things saying, don't be stupid. That's them.
Yeah.
It's the government's, you know, dressed up as a puppet.
I'd end up getting blown up, you know, just for trying to walk near it to prove myself right.
That's it. You know, if it come down tomorrow, a spaceship landed in the middle of a field, we would be the first ones to say, "Don't be stupid." No, they only want us to see that because that's what they want us to see. Until it, you know, we can get in the spaceship and it takes us up and it takes us on the, you know, the hyperspeed through space, then I would believe it.
I could imagine my wife now. I really could. You know what I mean? She pulls on the nose, quick, look at this, you know, and I'll be, oh, do me a favour. She'll be like, are you having a laugh? All these years you've been telling me that these things are real. Now one's showing up, you don't believe it.
There'll be mass hysteria. And they'll be used.
Why I'd die. You put me through that all these years and now you don't believe me.
That's it. Mass hysteria. It's nowhere near as crazy theories like flat Earth and fake moon.
Oh,
Well, I say it's all there.
Right.
You know, you know, because it doesn't. As I said to you, Joe, as it doesn't fit your narrative, doesn't mean it's not true. It's just a theory. Once again, it is a crazy theory, but people will say we're crazy for thinking there's UFOs out there.
See, this is why you've always got to look on both sides, and you've got to investigate both sides as well. Like, you know, how frustrated, Joe, do you get when you try and explain something and people just won't have none of it? It frustrates you. Well, people that have spent years investigating flat Earth and fake moon, they'll be saying the same to you. They'll be going, "Come on, man, look at it." Everyone will only believe what they want. We've all got our own algorithms going on. You know what I mean? The same as these social media things. We're attracted to things that we're already convinced ourselves are true.
I say we've done quite a bit, sort of like talking about. I say I'm not necessarily a believer in flat Earth, but the evidence that goes with it is pretty damn strong. It's quite a strong theory. It's quite a strong theory. Fake moon. I've always said the moon's fake. It's definitely changed. It's definitely changed.
I've never ever in my life believed the moon is fake, but recently I'm like, what the hell?
I've looked at the flat Earth fake moon. I've looked at it in its pants. I say I don't agree, Joe. I don't agree. I think the flat Earth theory is quite a strong. You know, why there's no curvature and there's no, you know, the experiment done over all them. What does it say? Was it supposed to be
every mile is saying like a foot and curvature or something, or not half a foot. Something. I see one the other day where they used a laser over 27 miles with a mirror. So when the laser hits, they get the shine, and they're obviously doing it at night. And it wasn't just a laser; they'd done a couple of different experiments. 27 miles. Now that should have been 386 feet below the curvature, apparently. So I know they say when you see that the city, I can't remember which one it was now. Was it Michigan or Chicago or something like that? Across that lake, the top of that tallest building should have been, well, you should have literally seen about 5 foot of the actual antenna on the top of the building. But you could see the whole building, and they're saying, "Oh, it's atmospheric conditions." So what it is, it's like a mirage. The moisture in the air bends the light, so that's why you can see the city. But a laser hitting the mirror and bouncing back over 27 miles, you can't. You can't. And I'm like, well, no, you can't. Had you know, that's that 27 miles should be something like 300, and I think it was 380 foot below the curvature. But it wasn't. It was dead straight. You know, you can't explain it.
I'm with Joe. I'm not a flat earther. I do believe the Earth is round.
But so do I, but I keep convincing myself otherwise. I don't want to. I'm like. It's like when people say space, but this is the other thing. See, they say if you're a flat earther, then you don't believe in space. but I'm sort of on the fence on 2 now, because you're like, nothing would destroy me more if space isn't real. I love the idea of space. I love the idea of that infinite universe, you know, and I love that, and I can't wait. I say I can't wait. Just that's such a wrong thing to say. Not I can't wait, but I don't fear death for me, because I believe in myself. That's where I'll go. I'll go into the universe. I'll be, you know, back to stardust, and I'll be able to explore, and I'll have the knowledge and this and that's the kind of thing. And I think, well, okay, I'm not afraid of dying. But if that turns out not to be true, then I'm screwed. I'm like, well, okay, then what happens now then? That's you know, that's going to crush my whole belief system.
I think a belief is a belief, and a theory, you know, a theory is a theory. I think that's, you know, I believe there's something else after this life.
It's got to be.
What that is, I don't know.
There is. I'm not even saying there is.
So how did Earth get circumnavigated?
Did it? When you look at some of the old ships, though, and they're going around the Antarctica, it was the Arctic Circle. It wasn't that little continent. When you go back,
it's a big old word.
There's the easy way of doing it. I'll see this video. There's the easiest way of proving this. All the billionaires out there, you know, that have got more than enough money to try this. You get 6 outspoken flat earthers, 6 outspoken globers, split them up 3 and 3, put them on 2 planes, edge of the Antarctic, and fly around it until they meet up. That's the easiest way. If it's the continent up there, they'll fly around it, and I think it's about, I don't know, 15 hours or whatever it is. If it's the Arctic Circle surrounding the Earth, then it will take something like 72 hours. It's a big difference. If you've got 3 devout flat earthers on each plane and 3 devout globers on each plane, they'll both be 100% well, you was wrong. 3 people in each plane will be able to go, well, that proves it.
It would never be done. It would never be done.
And this is the reason people still believe it.
Cook the Explorer did it 3 times. Cook boat didn't fall off the edge and hit a fake moon. But no, one of the theories, there is no edge. It's kept in by the Arctic. Yeah, Antarctica goes all the way around. I've always said Antarctica holds a load of secrets, but what, I don't know. Do I think it's the edge of Earth?
And hit the fake moon. I just read that.
I
love it.
Yeah, I say, you know, there is no, you know, it's once again, it's how you believe it. What's underneath then, Paul?
What's underneath what?
The flat bit.
Joe, I'm not saying I believe it. I'm just saying the evidence out there is quite strong to not. You've got to look at all of it. You know, you can't just dismiss it because you don't want to believe it. You've got to take into all the evidence that's out there. But don't forget, you can't prove. There's not one bit of evidence that we can prove that the Earth is globe and rotating. The only thing that tells us that is NASA. There's not one bit of instruments that we've got that actually says that. That's where I then start going, well, why not? I've been told there is. I've been told it's been proved a globe many a time. Who's told you that? NASA. You know, okay. They tell the truth all the time.
Yeah. I say it's
but I wouldn't know, Joe. Yeah, I know, and they're sort of they're a bit uppity about everything they release, aren't they? They're sort of half and half anyway. That Russia discloses a lot more than anyone else. They disclosed all the old maps on Tartaria, which we pretty much know that was in all the old maps, and it's I tell you, mate, I'm so confused with all of it. were first to orbit Earth. But in what way?
There's a different orbit. That could be orbit, or that could be orbit. It could be around orbit. It could be around it. I can't do it. You could either orbit around it that way, or you could orbit around it that way. You could orbit either way. It's still an orbit, isn't it? Doesn't matter which orbit. You're using words I don't know.
Elliptically, yeah, but this is what I'm saying. When people do say they've done these experiments and it comes back disproving the globe, it's still out there. It's just they'll get squashed and hidden, and you know, they try and wipe it out of the history books. You only get to see the mainstream narratives.
You only see what they've told us want us to see.
Exactly.
The only time we'll ever know if it's around Earth, if, as you say, one of us gets to go up in a spacecraft.
And exactly that. Exactly that.
You know, go around. But then again, I don't know if I'd be going around or not. Do you know what I mean? I'd probably be cacking myself something rotten up in space. And well, I'm an anti-flat. I bet my favourite dinner, that's nonsense. That's it.
Okay, you're right to have that belief, mate.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to convert you.
Because
I'm just trying to say some of the evidence out there you cannot dispute. And you're like, I can't make sense of it. It shouldn't be right.
How do we know Captain Cook was actually real?
Exactly.
You know, we've been told history's a load of old codswallop anyway.
More distinguished than Cook was Admiral Byrd. We're not taking his notes and diaries into consideration, what he found in the Antarctic.
And what was wasn't there also wasn't there audio footage of during the war of people flying over Antarctica and going across the wall, the ice wall, and seeing a different thing?
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, sort of corroborated Admiral Byrd, wasn't it? You know, when he even went on that live TV show. I've actually seen that TV show where he's on there saying, you know, this is our next big exploration. You know, what they found when they flew over woolly mammoths. He said, you've got a whole other continents out there as big as the Americas yet to be explored. And this was the highest ranking officer of that time, you know, and boom, after that interview, that was it.
I remember doing, there is videos of it, isn't there? There is audio footage of him saying along the lines, there's across the Arctic wall, we flew over Antarctica or whatever it was. It might not be Antarctica,
lush green lands, freshwater lakes.
Yeah. Well, people walking and they had to turn back or something. I remember that, and that was Admiral Byrd.
Yeah.
And was it during the war?
I believe it was before.
Yeah, I remember it. I remember doing it. And so have a check that out, Joe. Admiral Byrd.
Yeah.
You know, if you've got TikTok, just do Admiral Byrd, and then a lot will come up. And the audio footage, I'm sure there's audio footage. I'm sure we've played it before.
But like we say as well, though, you know, you've got to really research it. Don't just rely on TikTok, because, like we say, they always put them counter videos out. That the same with anything. You'll believe a subject, and there'll be a counter video, and there'll be a this, and then there'll be that. What's the actual footage of him speaking?
Yeah. Totally agree. But I do have to say, I'm with you, Joe. I am not a flat earther. I am a globe earther. I think it's round, but I can't be 100% sure the moon is real. And that upsets a lot of people. I know. I do apologise, but the moon is made of green cheese.
But let's be honest, Russ. We can't be 100% sure on anything.
No. No.
We only believe the things that we've taught and what we've seen with our own eyes, but we take that information in with what we've been taught.
Exactly. You know, everything that we watch is all governed by it.
Mm.
You know, you look at
what's
YouTube, for example. You delved right into YouTube. Microsoft owns it.
Yeah.
You know,
And who owns that?
exactly. You know, delved deep enough. They've all got syndicates in. YouTube is run by Meta and Microsoft. Yeah, the two biggest crooks in the world. No wonder everything we want on there is on there. You know,
Exactly.
it's it's all. You know, you're never going to get it. You're never going to get a full piece of information unless it, it's yeah. But if you look at Meta and Google and look at their listings, it's actually part of all as one.
Hmm.
They're quite split. So, even though Google and Meta are totally different, they're actually not. They're actually, if you look at the Google Pixel 8, who designed Google Pixel 8? Oh yeah, Meta. It wasn't designed by Google, it was designed by Meta. So everything is in cohorts with each other. And that's because that's it. That's what it all is. That's what it's all about. But no, do a bit of digging, Joe, and you'll find it. Who made the Google Pixel 8? Wasn't, well, yes, it was Google because it's a Google phone, but Meta had a big part to play in it. But I just want to sort of come off that bit now, become a flat earth and everything, because I just want to go back to sort of the beginning of our program, what we were saying about sonar pings in space and everything like that. Is everyone has been saying the same thing, okay? And a conspiracy, as as wild as it comes and as mad as it comes. Now, we're talking about space and we're talking about sonar pings, okay? Submarine sonar pings. And it sounds as crystal clear as what we think it is. Sonar pings. We all understand that word as sonar pings, films and everything like that. All these videos are now linking it to the submarine loosely. What's to say that it is actually the space station is in the water?
Well, this is it, isn't it?
What actually is it a sonar ping? What happens if it is that space station is actually in water? We talk about ufology and a lot of connections to the sea. It's big enough to hide something like that.
Mm-hmm.
All the footage can be doctored in ways and things like that. And
well, they've got a replica of the space station underwater where they train anyway, ain't they? And they reckon that is the International Space Station, didn't they? They reckon that's where all the footage comes from.
But
keep seeing air bubbles coming out and things like that in NASA's footage. NASA again.
Why doesn't that? To me, why couldn't it be a submarine, a something that got very close at that time, didn't know it was there, and they just picked up on it and thought, oh crap, they've got close, quick, send them away. No one would know, would they?
No.
It's only a theory. It's only a crazy theory, but I did think that all these videos and I can't work out the link between the submarine and the sonar ping. I just don't get it, because it isn't a same to me. It was a bing, bing, or in the sonar and the submarine with the people lost their lives. Unfortunately, it was two different things in my eyes. I just can't get why they're addressing it as the same. I just can't.
Literally because the word's submarines there, isn't it? because that's where you're used to hearing that sound.
Sorry, my thing's going crazy again, and my phone has just lit up, right, with loads of messages, and nothing has come out them speakers. It's not my phone. It's something around it, but what it is. Sorry, Paul. What was that?
I can't remember.
I do apologise. It was just everything was lighting up on my phone. I know he was talking about obviously the.
Oh, that was it, wasn't it? You know, just because they got they use the word submarine because that's where you're used to hearing them sonar pings. I think that's the only reason they're relating them two is because where else would you hear that? You know, unless you was in the submarine.
Yeah. I don't know. It was just a bit baffling to me. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why they was always linking it to.
Did I send you the video of the where it said it isn't the first time they've had strange sounds in space, and there was one where they had knocking, and and they said it. A couple of astronauts said it sounded like someone was rummaging in the next compartment, like things like drawers opening and closing, like that sort of sound. Did I send you that one?
No.
Oh, because it's not the first time they've had strange sounds and goings on that when they're out in space.
Well, that in itself would freak me out.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll be in bits. It's not like you could run, is it?
That is like your typical horror sci-fi film, isn't it?
100%.
That is like, I know that like we go ghost hunting and we've heard that sort of activity in the room next door, and you think, but I know I can run out that door.
Exactly.
In space, there's nowhere to bloody run. You'd be running in a circle, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
That's where I would be. I would be absolutely cacking myself. Joe wants to. Can I digress? I don't know what's a digress mean. He uses words that I don't understand, but he knows I don't. That means change the subject, doesn't it?
I think he wants to go back to the other subject, mate.
How are we sitting up with the Apollo 11 moon landing?
The one everyone's seeing on mainstream media, to me, is fake. That was Hollywood basement job. Whether we actually went there or not, I just don't know. I'm still on the fence.
We spoke about this last week, didn't we?
Yeah,
We spoke about this last week, didn't we? Yeah. We sort of concurred that what we saw and what actually happened, in my eyes, I do believe we landed on the moon, but I don't believe the footage that we were shown.
Yeah.
And that's how I see it. I think that was. I don't think they could have took a chance of not knowing what was there. That was my theory. We spoke about.
But again, even when you use actors or whatever, like look at the astronauts when they come back. The look on them faces when they were first interviewed, the greatest achievement humankind has ever made, and it was like their national team had just lost the World Cup. They're sitting there like that. None of them are smiling. They're all stumbling and mumbling their words, and and don't forget they've been in quarantine for a couple of days as well before the interview. And it was like, what did the stars look like out in space? Didn't see any stars. It was pitch black. Didn't see any stars. And yet, when they wrote the book, I can't remember the name of the fellow that wrote the book. Which one it was that wrote the book? It's saying, the stars were brilliant, crystal clear, bright stars. Well, hang on a minute. You said after a week of coming back, you couldn't see a damn thing when you was up there. When you write the book, you're saying nothing marries up. Nothing made sense.
The footage doesn't make sense, does it? The footage doesn't make sense.
Well, when you watch that lunar lander take off, the original footage. I mean, it's the best. It's the best bit of. Well, it's not. It's the worst. It is straight out of. Star Wars done a better job.
Well, that's it. But who took the footage?
Stanley Kubrick, wasn't it? It was 100% Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah, but no, who took the footage of the thing taking off?
Exactly. Yeah. And who was already on the?
Yeah,
Phil's already
stay there.
standing there.
Come
Yeah.
back at me.
Come on,
Come back
come down
and
the
get me.
ladder.
Yeah. You know, I get it. I do get it. And, you know, and once again, but it's one of the biggest cover-ups in history, but people know about it. Once
Yeah.
again, there's two different sides of stories, because that's what they want you to believe. It's only a story. It's only a cover-up, because there's people out there that believe it. There's people out there that don't.
Mm.
And I say, my theory is a little bit different. I think yes, we did land on the moon, but actually what went on that time was not very nice, and that was what they had to make it nicer and make it brilliant. I say there was, was the that space was a space race, the biggest space race there was, wasn't there?
That's all it was. That's all it was about for me. Just, let's do this, get it done, so we can say we beat Russia.
The command module wobbles on takeoff.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I have to, I have to sort of say, yeah, it doesn't look 100% legitimate. There's too many if, buts, and maybes in there for my liking. To be fair, it's not all what it seems to be, but I do think there is some truth in it. But where, I don't know. I don't know. Not the actual footage. I'm not saying there's footage, but simple question is, why haven't we been back before?
Well, because we lost all the technology, didn't we? That was NASA's official excuse. We've lost the technology. They taped over all the original tapes. They lost all the original data and everything that they used to get to the moon. So, and we just haven't got the money. They haven't got the money.
No, we haven't got the money.
They had all the technology. They had less technology than we've got in our mobile phones, and they got to the moon.
But then we got Bob Lazar talking about, we can back engineer spacecraft. We're going then. Yeah, Bob Lazar, yeah. We can back engineer that. That's what we did then. We back engineered it. We can't get to space again. Yeah, all right. Dream on. The radiation belt is the big issue. The Van Allen radiation belt. We were, it's no one can get through it apparently if it's there. So,
and if you could, what a crystal clear signal they sent back, to the White House, where we had a picture taken from the moon in the background. Well, how'd you get that? You've only just got there.
I say, the picture was beautiful. The picture was absolutely beautiful back then. Crystal clear moon landing. There weren't any interference.
But this is the other thing. Do you know? There's not been a single video released from the moon pointing at the Earth.
That's because it's flat.
No, again, this is the thing. The amount of moon missions there's been. Why haven't they actually shown us actual footage of the Earth from the moon?
I can't answer.
You're telling me they filmed all them astronauts running around, they couldn't just turn that camera around and go, hello?
Well,
not
I would.
one single video.
And it just, once again, the film, whatever it, full moon or moonfall. Well, it was taking selfies with him with this, within the background. Everyone would do it. Even back then, you would take a picture of where you've just come from.
Of course you would.
It's laughable, but there's people out there that won't have it. Yeah, but I think that's how this is how life is, Joe. I think that's narratives fit within narratives, don't they? So this doesn't become a question. It is. I think there is Paul, but from orbit only.
Yeah, from like weather balloon.
Orbit around the flat Earth plank. But no, I say it's yes, it is very, very questionable. What actually it's hiding, or what actually it's doing, or what actually it's done. Couldn't tell you. Would it be just as simple? Do I believe it's just as simple as to beat the space race? No, I don't. No, I don't. I think there's more to it in my eyes. I do think the moon, if it's real or fake, however you want to see it, holds a lot of questions. I think there is something there. The people, I say, there's been a lot of footage of.
To be honest, it's the secret of our Earth. That's, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
in my eyes. And I believe that more now than ever, especially after watching that Moonfall. I think there's something to that film, mate. I'm telling you.
Well, no one's ever been to the dark side of the moon, I believe. Is it the dark side of the moon? No one's ever been to the dark side of the moon.
Yeah. Well, apparently we're told now. I think a few probes have been, haven't they? And was that China?
Yeah, but there's video footage, isn't there? There's video footage.
So you look at the modules that apparently landed on the moon from India, China, and obviously America. They're all different versions of the original Apollo missions, just slightly more crisper tinfoil.
But that's what baffles me, though. That is what baffles me.
Yeah.
I can't cook my turkey at Christmas without the turkey leg piercing through the tin foil. Every year, without fail, the turkey leg will pierce through the tin foil. But tin foil can make it through orbit and it can get to the moon without piercing. Yeah, all right.
And go through 10,000 degrees of heat, like, you know, through the and radiation belt. Yeah.
It was a Cold War space race, I reckon. So they threw lots of money at Stanley Kubrick.
Yeah. But that's the other thing in the film he done, 2001: Space Odyssey, isn't it? You know, that you see some of the backdrops on that. It's exactly the same as the Apollo missions.
I think you just got to follow the evidence.
Of course you have.
Yeah, love that tin foil on the modular. That's brilliant, Joe. Yeah. Fantastic. You know, fantastic. But I think, you know, yes, I think we can all concur that the moon landing is totally ridiculous. Do I think we've landed on the moon? Me, personally, yes. The footage is totally different to what we've ever witnessed. What it holds up there, I say there's lots of videos out there with people taking telescopic phones and cameras of things landing and coming from the moon.
Yeah. So we either have got a space station up there already, you know, it's just we'll never know about it.
Yeah, but I think that's it, Joe. I think that goes along with anything that, you know, we've ever spoke about. You know, I think, you know, if you speak about people like that with flat Earth, if you speak about people that believe in flat Earth, if you speak about people that talk about COVID, you're going to always hit nerves with people. Yeah. You're always going to, you know, me and my brother-in-law were nearly having a fight over it. But, you know, don't get wound up about it, because at the end of the day,
you believe what you believe, they believe what they believe. If you know you're right, you know you're right. You could be completely wrong, but if you know you're right, you know you're right. And I'll say the same to myself when I get irate about things. I think, hang on a minute, I could be completely wrong here, because I ain't 100% sure. I'm just going on my
right. But he thinks he's right, though, doesn't he? At the end of the day, beer and fists flying. Don't argue over anything. There's no need for argument in this world. That's why we're here. Well, guys, we have come towards the end of the show. I want to say a massive thank you for everyone that has joined us tonight. I hope we haven't gone too far off the topic, even though we do. I hope it was a nice chat. It was quite light-hearted this week, to be fair. We normally go down the routes and regulations. I'm always right, Joe says. But it's that time of the show, Paul. I asked you 2 weeks ago. I'll ask you again. You know, it's the end of the show, not too much. Trump or Harris for the election? Anything has changed?
Trump for me. Still
And that
Trump.
is still Trump, and that is Paul. You know what? I've changed my mind. I've changed my mind. I have back to Trump now. I've changed my mind 2 weeks later. Okay? I'm back on the Trump line at this moment in time.
Yeah.
Okay? And all that is I don't know where the 13 keys sits. I haven't seen him on my Facebook, on TikTok recently. I haven't seen where the 13 keys lie.
Oh God,
Yeah,
I watched him. It's
it's very clever. Do you know how he does it? Did you actually look at how he does it?
No, I don't think I did. It was
He
very late last
has
Thursday. I watched
13. He has 13 narratives that he follows, and he puts the elect, obviously Trump or Harris, in where that fits at the time.
right. Yeah.
So key one will sit with social media. Key two will go with something else. And he'll put, well, I think he's got that. She's got that. He's got this. He's got that. And it all adds up. He's never got one wrong. That's astonishing.
Mm.
So whoever he picked, I'm putting my money on. That's
First time for everything, mate. First time for everything.
Yeah, there is a first time, but that's why over the last couple of weeks I've gone with the Trump side of things, because I've seen a lot of things out there that have put Kamala Harris in a negative light. And once, obviously, after the big event, to the point, was it her vice president or VP? All his family members support Trump, didn't they?
Yeah.
That you in the absolute nuts, mustn't it?
That's
you know what I mean?
Even grandma, bless her.
That must hurt, mustn't it? But the only thing that I will say is that, as I said to you the other day, wasn't it, what they tried to do with obviously RFK.
Mm.
Now that's what I said to you the other day.
Oh, they're throwing everything at them, mate.
And that would be if that actually happens, and he does have to remain on the ballots in certain places where obviously swing states, and the judges
he did say when he gave his speech. Have you watched his speech yet?
Yes, yeah.
What did you think of his speech, Russ? I thought it was brilliant. I thought he nailed it.
I did, but I'm still not 100% sure it was the right decision, because
he basically, because exactly what you just said though, Russ, and that's the reason why they're making it so hard for him to run and get anywhere, basically. So he's got no choice either to back out or support.
But I get it, but I do believe that the RFK voters were not Trump voters.
No.
And that is a big... I'm not too sure it's going to work. I don't think he's got any say in what actually will happen. And I get he was coming off. I know what he was saying by coming off ballots in swing states. That's what he wanted. But that's not going to happen. Now that could potentially falter both sides of the debate, couldn't it? At the end of the day, it could obviously swing states. They don't quite know which side it's going to go. Does he have an influence in that? I don't know, but we shall see. It's getting ever nearer. We're only a couple of months away now, so it's going to. And we've got a big debate coming up, I think, haven't we, at the end of the month with this? So we shall see. Let me know. But every 2 weeks, I shall ask you the same question. All right. Heidi says good night once again. Good one again, guys. Take care, Heidi.
Take care.
So said, night, lads. Love a good discussion, even if I'm always right. Good night. Give my love to everyone and hug at everyone your end. Thank you ever so much for everyone that has joined us on Pulse Talk tonight. Really do appreciate it. Take care, guys. Stay safe and stay paranormal.
Bye-bye.
once again, thank you everyone over on YouTube and Facebook. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, Heidi. Thanks to everyone that joined in the chat tonight. Really appreciate it. Keeps the conversation going. And as I say, your opinions do count on this show, even though, as Joe says, he's always right. We're always right as well. So that's just as good. But that's healthy debate. Healthy debate is good. Healthy debate is good.
Exactly.
So take care, everyone, and hopefully see you all again next week.
Bye-bye.